Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Wednesday, the 28th day of the month of June, 2023. It is Wednesday of the 12th week of the year, the 12th week in Ordinary Time, but also today we remember St. St. Irenaeus of Lyons, one of the great early church fathers, one of the great first theologians of Christianity. He wrote against a bunch of heretics and things like that, but his greatest statement was that the glory of God is a human being fully alive. And again, fully alive here and now, not fully alive after we die and go off to an eternal reward someplace else. So the more that we embrace our humanity, the more that we embrace the fullness of what it means to be human, we give glory to God and we demonstrate and we show forth God's glory. So that is an important lesson for us always to remember, that the life that we live here and now is a sign of God's glory. It is not separate from us, God's glory. It is not something that is in contrast to us. It is not something that we achieve, once we die. It is something that is meant to be lived here and now. So to show the world just who and what God is expressed through our actions. Again, we are the conduits and we are the vehicles of showing the world how wonderful and glorious God is. So to remember that on this day that we remember Irenaeus. Coming to you from the Franciscan Garden, again, coming in quite beautifully as the summer progresses. We do have a kind of little campaign because we are beginning to put in the monuments or the markers of the various Franciscan saints whose names are applied to the buildings here on this campus. And so they will be added soon as kind of an extra added addition for contemplation and meditation on our great Franciscan heritage here at the parish of St. Francis of Assisi. So today's readings, Genesis, we continue with God and Abraham solidifying the covenant together. So it's again, Abraham questions God at least 32 times in the Old Testament as he makes the journey from Ur of the Chaldeans back by the Persian Gulf over the Fertile Crescent, the Euphrates and the Tigris rivers into the Holy Land, and questioning God again and again and again, and God basically answering his questions with patience and love and affection, and not wanting to get rid of Abraham. So we come to the point now where God has been talking about descendants as numerous as the stars of the sky and sands of the seashore, and yet Abraham and Sarah cannot have children. And so what is going on? And Abraham brings up the fact that if I can't have children, my heir is going to have to be my servant, and that is not, he's not part of the people that you've called to your own possession. And so God says, don't worry, it will happen. And again, God keeps repeating again and again that I will make your descendants great and numerous, and they will populate the earth and everything else like that. And the great covenant is sealed between Noah and Abraham with this great sacrifice that happens of a bull who's cut in half, and then it's the opposite sides or the pieces are placed opposite from each other, and in the darkest part of the night, a flaming fire pot passes through them, marking the covenant now between God and Abraham. And again, Abraham has to believe that God knows what God is doing, like all of us have to believe. But yet Abraham can question, and God can be patient in answering that question, but God does not give up on Abraham in the same way that God doesn't give up on us, even though we question. In Matthew's gospel today, again, because it's all just bits and pieces of different kinds of sayings that Matthew is stringing together that Jesus said, and I wish I could remember what it was. Again, tells you just how much the gospel struck me today. But I think we'll just end right there. I can't remember what Matthew's gospel is, but again, it's just another part of Jesus trying to affirm again what it is, what it means to be a believer, and how it is that we are supposed to act. I know that part of it. I don't know what it is specifically. So let us just sit with Genesis today and Irenaeus's great understanding of God's relationship with us. Again, that our glory is found in God, and that we, because of that glory being found in God, are always meant to be symbols and representatives of God's glory to one another. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord always give you his peace.